In OP06, we received a new black leader and is one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Gecko Moria. Look at the CGI graphic of the AA leader card. What a horror. In this video, I'll be talking about the deck strategy, my day 1 deck list for Gecko Moria, and some tech cards and combos that you can play in this deck. Firstly, let's talk about what the leader does. Gecko Moria is a black thriller bug leader with 5 life and 5k power. Its effect is attach 1 Dawn. By paying 2 Dawns on attack, discard 1 card from your hand and mill the top 2 cards of your deck. You can play a 4 cost or lower thriller bug character from your trash. So this effect is good because it builds your trash for cards that you will need later on in the game, essentially making your trash a resource pile. When you have built up your trash, you will have access to any cards you need. The trash is important for this deck because Moria Leader's ability allows you to revive any thriller bug characters, and we also have a card to return thriller bug cards back to the hand. The strategy of the deck is to throw as many cards from your deck into the trash, making your trash a second resource pile. Then you want to build up your board by constantly reviving characters with the leader's ability and the stage card. This deck can be really aggressive but super defensive with the event and a loop that we will talk about later on. You can also go for a hand control variant, but for now I'm not sure if that would be the direction this deck should go for. This deck, however, in theory doesn't sound like it will have a good matchup against Sakazuki because they can just bottom deck all of your important pieces, but I'm also thinking they can't bottom deck your cards if you don't have a deck to begin with, so I guess you have to aggressively trash your deck for that matchup. Against other decks, I think this deck could be good, and I would rank Gecko Moria in rank tier 1.5 or high 2 to be honest. I have to make a disclaimer for this video too because this is my take on a day 1 deck list. The list will definitely change as time passes after more testing is put into the deck. So for future updates, you can follow me on Twitter. Effects of the new cards will be on screen when I'm talking about them. So here's my day 1 Moria list. Firstly, I'm playing 2 Shirahoshi. I'm playing it mainly for its 2k counter and ability to return cards back to the bottom of the deck in case you trash too many cards. It also has a neat effect by resting her. When your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand, they discard 1. I included this so that you will have access to a little hand disruption combo. Next is 2-man Sherry. Same reason why it's in here, to help return cards back to the deck, but also allows you to retrieve back your 4 cost characters back to hand. Next is the key card to the deck, Victoria Sindri. If your leader is a thriller bug pirate, on play mill the top 5 cards of your deck. Can we get a blue version of this card please? Next, I'm playing 2 Nefertari Cobra. It's a blocker and on play mill 1 card. This is an open slot and I'm only including him in because I felt I didn't have any blockers. Of course you can replace him with the 2 cost Cerberus, but I'm playing Cobra instead because it allows you to mill 1 card on play. Next, I'm playing Inope. A really good card to help you filter through your hand and build up your trash. Its effect is on play and on KO draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Gigolo of the Wind. Its effect is on KO during this turn, your leader or character gains 1k. Really good when it's comboed with the event card and is part of the Gigolo combo, which I'll share about it later on. Next will be 3 copies of Tararan. On play or on KO, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Reason why I'm playing many of these cards at 3 is because I can easily trash them from my deck and reuse them using the leader's ability or the stage card. Next is 3 copies of Epsilon. On play, return 2 cards to the bottom of the deck from the trash, KO a 2 cost or lower character. So you can either choose to KO your own 2 cost character to get their effects, or combo it with Ice Age to KO something big on the opponent's field. Then we are playing 4 Oz. It's a 4 cost 7k character. Effect is it can't attack, but if you sacrifice a thriller bug character, you can ignore its effect. Dropping a 7k character on turn 2 is really powerful, and Oz can help out with this deck's combo. Next is Dr. Hawkback. This is the most important card in the deck because on play it allows you to take back any thriller bug cards. Means you can retrieve back your characters, events and even stage, of course by paying its cost, which is to return 2 cards to the bottom of the deck from your trash. On top of that, your leader can also revive him, so it becomes a loop where you can keep recycling cards over and over. Next is Perona, our 2k counter. A really versatile card. Effect is on play if the opponent has 5 or more cards in hand, choose one of the effect. The opponent discards 1 card, or you can reduce one of your opponent's character cost by 3. Next is for Lola. As a blue Doffy player, being able to cheat out a character with 6k attack is really powerful, which is why I'm trying 4 copies of her out. For our last character, we have the big bad himself, Gecko Moria. On play, play a 4 cost or lower character and a 2 cost or lower character. So you would like to revive maybe one of the 2 cost characters and Hawk's back. Then with Hawk's back effect, you can return back another card back into your hand. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of Ice Age. It's in here just a combo of Epsilon to remove threats. Next is Shadow Asgard. I'm playing 3 copies of it. Counter main, give your leader plus 1k for the turn. You can sacrifice any number of 2 cost Thriller Bug character. For each one, you gain an additional 1k. So this means if you sacrifice Gigolo of the Wind, you get plus 2k from the event and an additional 1k from Gigolo's effect. And thus the Gigoloop is born. Please take a look at this combo. You can keep repeating this as long as you have cards in your trash. This way your leader will always be at 8k during the opponent's turn, unless they have some form of removal. You can bring back the Gigolo which you sacrifice the following turn using the stage 2. Next, I'm playing 1 copy of Negative Holo. Effect is opponent discards a card. You can use the loop from earlier to keep cycling this card too, but because I'm not focusing too much on disruption, I'm only playing a copy. Finally, I'm playing 3 copies of Thriller Bug. 1 Dawn, rest this stage, revive a Thriller Bug character with 2 costs or lower in rest. If the stage brings the character in active, I would have played the Cerberus in the deck. Some tech cards I would consider including would be Rebecca, potentially to recur back some of your cards and also act as a blocker. Reason why I'm not using her here is we already have a strong way to recur cards through the leader's ability and Dr. Hawkback. If you like to play a more controlled version of Moria, which I don't think you should, you can consider playing Rob Lucci and the Rebecca Hina package, and maybe even Kobe as well. Another way to build this deck is to include more Negative Holo for hand disruption. You can actually loop this card using Moria and Hawkback, similar to how the Gigoloop works as shared earlier. Personally, I see only playing Thriller Bug character in the Gecko Moria deck, as its leader ability revolves around them. Playing a couple of cost reduction card along with Epsilon seems like the way to go if you intend to go towards the cost reduction and KO route. I'm looking forward to see how well this deck does because the Gigoloop and the Negative Holo Loop really interest me. Also, seeing a deck that uses the trash as a resource and reviving cards from the trash is also somewhat of a fresh idea. As I'm not a fan of Gecko Moria, I might not be building him, but I'll be sure to share any winning list of fantastic ideas off the list over on Twitter. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Our goal is to hit 5k subs before the end of 2023. Let me know in the comments how do you think Gecko Moria will fit in the metagame of OP06. You can also follow me on Twitter or X for more One Piece TCG content. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.